Ah, donuts. These sugary rings of happiness have a special place in our hearts and stomachs. From classic glazed to adventurous creations piled high with toppings, donuts are an American staple. We enjoy them for breakfast as a midday treat or even as a late-night indulgence. Their soft, pillowy texture and sweet, satisfying flavor have secured their position as a beloved comfort food. But have you ever stopped to wonder about the safety of these delicious treats? The thought of a donut recall might seem strange, even laughable. After all, how dangerous can a donut really be? While it's true that donuts aren't typically associated with foodborne illnesses, the reality is that any food product has the potential to become unsafe if proper procedures aren't followed. Interestingly, finding information about donut recalls specifically is surprisingly difficult. There doesn't seem to be a long, well-documented history of donut-related recalls, especially on a national scale. This is likely due to a few factors. Firstly, donuts are generally a simple product with relatively few ingredients. This reduces the risk of contamination from multiple sources. Secondly, the cooking process itself, typically involving frying at high temperatures, can eliminate some potential hazards. Finally, donuts are often consumed shortly after being made, especially when purchased from local bakeries, which minimizes the time for bacterial growth. While donut recalls might be rare, the FDA takes food safety very seriously. The Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, is responsible for making sure the food we eat is safe and doesn't have anything harmful in it. This means they have a strict process to check and inspect food products often. When they find a possible problem, the FDA acts quickly to fix it, making sure that people's health is not at risk. This watchfulness is super important to keep the food supply chain safe and trustworthy. The agency has the power to start a recall when they think a food product might be dangerous for people's health. They don't take this power lightly, and deciding to recall a product means they do a careful investigation and assessment. The FDA works with food companies, distributors, and other people involved to make sure the recall process is quick and works well. This teamwork is important to find and remove potentially dangerous products from stores quickly. This can happen for different reasons, including contamination, wrong labels, and things like nuts or milk that are in the food, but not on the label. Each of these reasons has its own risks and challenges, and the FDA has special plans to deal with each type of problem. Understanding these reasons helps people who buy food stay informed and careful about the products they choose. Microbial contamination. This is when bad bacteria, viruses, or parasites are in food, often because it wasn't handled, prepared, or stored correctly. This can make people very sick, like with food poisoning, which can be really bad for your health. The FDA regularly checks and tests food to find and stop microbial contamination before it gets to people. Undeclared allergens. This is when ingredients like nuts, milk, or soy are in the food but not listed on the label, which is dangerous for people who are allergic. Allergic reactions can be small or life-threatening, so it's super important for food labels to show all the ingredients. The FDA has strict rules for labels to protect people with food allergies. Foreign objects. This is when something that's not supposed to be in the food gets in there by accident during production, like glass, metal pieces, or even bugs. These things can hurt you if you eat them, so food companies need to have strong quality control to prevent this. The FDA works with companies to find and get rid of things that could contaminate food. Mislabeling. This is when the information on the product packaging is wrong or misleading, which could cause people to use it incorrectly or have allergic reactions. Accurate labeling is really important for consumer safety and trust. The FDA keeps an eye on labeling practices and takes action against companies that don't follow the rules. When a recall happens, the FDA works closely with manufacturers to get the bad products out of stores and warn people about the possible dangers. This involves public announcements, press releases, and working with stores to make sure the recalled products are taken off the shelves quickly. The goal is to minimize the risk to consumers and prevent any further harm. How bad the recall is depends on how dangerous the problem is and how it could affect people's health. Recalls are put into different categories based on how risky they are. Class 1 recalls are the most serious, for products that can cause serious health problems or death. Class 2 recalls are for products that might cause temporary or reversible health problems. Class 3 recalls are for products that are unlikely to cause adverse health effects but violate FDA regulations. Understanding these classifications helps consumers gauge the seriousness of a recall and take appropriate actions. To stop people from getting sick from food and to make sure our food, including our beloved donuts, is safe, there's a big system of rules and people checking up on things. This system is made to cover every part of how food is made, from the beginning stages to the final product you buy. The FDA has strict rules for how food is processed, packaged, and labeled. These guidelines are carefully made to make sure that all food products, including those from bakeries, meet high safety and quality standards. Besides the federal regulations, state and local health departments are really important too. They regularly inspect places that make food, like bakeries, to make sure they're following the rules. These inspections look at different parts of food safety, like how clean the building is, how the staff behaves, and the overall hygiene practices in place. Personal hygiene. Making sure employees wash their hands correctly and wear things like hairnets and gloves is super important. This helps prevent contamination and keeps the workplace clean. Food handling. Checking food storage temperatures is really important to stop food from going bad and bacteria from growing. Also, preventing cross-contamination between raw and cooked products and making sure things are cooked for the right amount of time are key things inspectors look for. Facility sanitation. Checking how clean the facility is, including equipment, utensils, and food preparation surfaces, is another major focus. A clean facility is less likely to have harmful bacteria and other pathogens. Pest control. Having ways to prevent and control pests like rats and insects is very important. Pests can carry diseases and contaminate food products, so effective pest control is a must. Through these regulations and inspections, authorities aim to minimize risks and ensure that donuts and other bakery products are produced and handled safely. By adhering to these standards, bakeries can provide their customers with delicious and safe products, fostering trust and satisfaction in the community. Section 5. Recalls in the bakery aisle. It's not just donuts. While we don't see a lot of donut recalls, other baked goods haven't been so lucky. The bakery aisle, often a place with delicious smells and tempting treats, has had its fair share of product recalls over the years. Lately there have been some big recalls of things like cakes, muffins, and cookies. These recalls happen because of different problems, from contamination to wrong labels. One of the most common reasons for these recalls is when allergens aren't listed on the label. For example, a product might have nuts or dairy that isn't on the label, which is dangerous for people with allergies. Another common problem is when there are foreign objects in the food, like pieces of plastic or metal, which could make someone choke or get hurt. For example, in 2023, a big bakery chain voluntarily recalled its popular chocolate chip cookies because they found small pieces of plastic in some of the dough. This wasn't just scary for consumers, but it also showed how important it is to have strong quality control during production. In another case, a popular brand of muffins was recalled because it had pecans in it that weren't listed on the label, which is dangerous for people allergic to nuts. This recall showed how important it is to have accurate labeling and careful checks to keep consumers safe. These incidents show that even simple baked goods can be recalled if people don't follow the right safety rules. Every step in making the food, from getting the ingredients to the final packaging, needs to be carefully watched to prevent these problems. Consumers rely on these safety measures to enjoy their favorite treats without worry, making it essential for bakeries to maintain high standards of quality and safety. Section 6. Delicious and safe, the state of our donuts. So are our favorite sugary treats safe? Based on what we know, it seems like donuts, especially from places we trust, have a pretty good track record when it comes to food safety. But it's important to remember that no food is completely risk-free. Just because we don't see a lot of donut recalls doesn't mean we should stop caring about food safety. As consumers, it's important to know about potential risks and take steps to stay safe. Section 7. The importance of consumer vigilance. While regulatory bodies and food manufacturers play a crucial role in ensuring food safety, consumers also have a responsibility to be vigilant. Check for recalls. Stay informed about food recalls by checking the FDA website or signing up for email alerts. Inspect packaging. Before you eat any food, look at the packaging carefully for signs of damage, tampering, or if it's expired. Practice food safety at home. Store donuts and other baked goods the right way, put them in the fridge if you need to, and eat them before they go bad. Report concerns. If you think a food product is contaminated or unsafe, tell the company that made it and the right authorities. By being proactive and taking these simple steps, consumers can contribute to a safer food system for everyone. Section 8. The future of food safety, technology, and transparency. As technology gets better, we can expect to see new and creative ways to make food safer. For example, blockchain technology can be used to track food products from the beginning to the end of their journey, making things more transparent and accountable. Also, new sensors and data analytics can help companies find possible contamination risks right away, so they can act faster and prevent big outbreaks. The future of food safety depends on technology, regulations, and people being aware of how to keep their food safe, all working together. Section 9. Enjoying donuts responsibly. A balanced approach. Donuts, like many yummy treats, are best enjoyed in moderation as part of a balanced diet. While eating a donut every now and then probably won't hurt you, eating too many can lead to health problems like gaining weight and heart disease. The important thing is to enjoy donuts and other sweet treats responsibly, thinking about both our health and food safety. By staying informed, practicing safe food handling, and advocating for transparency in the food industry, we can all continue to savor the simple pleasure of a delicious donut without compromising our well-being.